know something more than God does, and that the Bible's being corrupted. I read a book I believe that book told me that this book was corrupted, but I believe that book. And then you go on not so far as to say to people that you have seen God, and you've been reincarnated 1,000 times. That is the most craziest stuff I've ever heard in my life. Anybody that believes you would have to be a religious fanatic. That's disturbing. I mean, you think that religious fanatics, I'm not a religious fanatic. I believe in the Lord. I trust in Him. You are a religious fanatic, and even worse because you keep saying that you've been reincarnated 1,000 times. You've seen God. Jesus died in some city when He was 70 years old. That's insane what you do. Now, you believe the words that you say, and you say them real powerful without any kind of doubt, and you got the blind leading the blind. You're all gonna fall in the ditch because you believe this guy. It's like the blind leading the blind, and Jesus said, let them go. They'll all fall in the ditch together. That's what's going to happen. Listen, people like Harold Camping are false prophets, and people are not going to be waiting for the rapture, MW. The rapture is going to come like a thief in the night. It's going to come so quick in a blinking of an eye. People are not even going to know. Believe it, it's going to happen in a twinkling of an eye, in a moment, just like that, bam. It's not going to be standing there waiting, here I am, Lord, take me. Nothing like that, dude. It's going to happen so quickly that they'll probably go days before it's ever reported that people even know that they're missing. People like you won't even know it. I won't be on here for a month and you won't even know it. You'll just think, Steve's gone. You'll be set in strong delusion to believe a lie. This is what's happening already. We have somebody rose up like yourself, and you believe you've been reincarnated, and you know more than Jesus, and you've seen God, you've seen Peter, and you expect people to believe you over the Bible? Are you kidding me?
I'm sure spiritual people understand what I'm talking about when I speak about things. I don't expect religious fanatics to understand anything I say. Birds of a feather, they do flock together. Remember that. And you told these people a lie. When Jesus and Barabbas stood before Pilate, and Pilate asked the people, choose which one I shall release you. And what did those dumb sheep in the crowd do? What did those dumb religious fanatic people in the crowd do? It wasn't all religious leaders there. It was people, religious people, religious fanatics. What did they say? Give us Barabbas! Yeah, that's who crucified him. The religious fanatics of that day. And the religious fanatics of today would do the same thing again, because he would body slam you so fast with the truth. If he was here today living in this time period, he would slam you so hard with that religious nonsense, you wouldn't be able to stand it. You'd put him right back on the cross again. Mike's free.
You don't understand. You still just don't understand, MW. That you're right, religious fanatics would do that. But he came for a purpose. It's not that people killed him. He came for a purpose. It was hidden. All this was hidden, so the scriptures would be fulfilled. Of all the law and the prophets written about him. 1500 BC, the earliest writings. In the ancient times. Way back 1500 years BC. I got proof of that. Way before the Catholic Church ever was even discovered. But listen, he came, and this was all prophesied exactly what would happen. He would lay down his life. It's not that people crucified him. He laid down his life. They were blind. They couldn't see. Israel's still blinded in part till the time of the Gentiles will be fulfilled. The time of the Gentiles is getting ready to be fulfilled, MW, and you're not going to see it coming. You're going to be in disarray. You're going to believe strong delusion. You're not seeing the whole thing. You're just seeing part of it. You're looking on one side. You can't. I have complete proof. I can say the same thing to you. What proof do you have? I even ask you for proof, and you say you've seen God 1,000 times. You've been alive and you say that you can't remember nothing, or you won't tell anybody nothing because you're afraid somebody's going to say something spoilerly to you. But you can sit up and call Christians religious fanatics and just call them every kind of crazy name and laugh like you're the authority, and here you don't know anything. You quote us one scripture completely out of context without reading all the rest of them, and you act like you know something. You are so lost, it's not even funny. And people that are listening to you right now that follow you, well, the blind will be leading the blind into the ditch. You don't understand the difference. You call Christians, people like me, a religious fanatic. But I don't sit up here saying I've seen God 1,000 times, I've been reincarnated 1,000 times, and this, that, and the other. You say the Bible's wrong, but you and Letty get up here and say, well, I got proof that the Bible's wrong because I read this book, and I can go to this website and show you. But you read a book and you say that book's wrong. It doesn't make no sense.
Well, I just thought I'd say goodbye. I'm going to go get some bath salts, go shoot up some heroin. I'll talk to you guys later.
When I say these things to you, beloved, I don't hate you. I like you. I don't hate you at all. We're passionate. You and me both are. When I talk this way, I'm as passionate as what I believe as you. I'm not coming against you. I'm coming against the evil spirit that's within you.
For you to come against me is a very dangerous thing anyway, Steve. Because I'm a spiritual person. I'm not a Christian, and I'm not a religious person. You are. Everything that you talk about in these rooms are based upon nothing but a belief system. What I talk about is based upon my life's experience. This is my real life experience that I talk about. I don't talk about books that require a belief system. I don't accept books that require me to believe other people's nonsense. I generally talk about my life's experiences and what I've experienced in life and what I'm experiencing now. But religious people are not that way. The only thing that religious people have is a belief system. And you can't prove anything that you believe. The only proof you have is the Bible itself, and you can't even prove that. You cannot prove anything that you believe about religion. That's the reality, and if you could ever see that, you might find your way out of that ditch you're in. Go ahead.
You're going to a confession every time you come to the mic. Who says that? Kazik? Yeah. It's like going to a confession. I mean, what you're saying is really, all jokes aside, I mean, you're saying the same thing that I'm saying to you pretty much. We're just going back and forth. You say that you can prove things, and well, I'm a religious fanatic because I believe in the Bible, but you expect people to believe that you've been reincarnated 1,000 times and seen God, seen Peter, and without any kind of proof, you expect people to believe that. At least I have some kind of source like the Bible that I can quote and show you. But you don't even have that. You just have your life experiences. And you can't say a damn thing about it. You just come up here and say, I've been alive and dead 1,000 times. And you can't elaborate on anything because you really haven't done that. Because if you did, you would elaborate. You know, you haven't. It's pretty obvious that you can't because this is all just made up. This is ridiculous. Why would you even make something like that up? I mean, if you cannot, after 1,000 times, tell me some kind of details about something, why would anybody believe you? What is your source? You call me a religious fanatic because I believe in the Bible. I call you a religious fanatic because you make up things beyond the Bible and expect that as the authority, and people cannot question MW. That's crazy. Go ahead.
I don't tell you because it's more fun for me to sit here and listen to you talk about it every day than it is for me to tell you and then have to listen to you say I don't believe it.
I'm letting you know this is true. I never ever start talking about this until you do. You start talking about Bible, religious fanatics, which I already know what you're talking about. You always started, but I ain't gonna let you get away with it. We're gonna cover each other. We're gonna go the distance and see what is really the truth. Because what you're saying is not true because you have no source. You have nothing but you. I mean, seriously, how many people could really believe? Let's just say you got in court and I've been reincarnated 1,000 times, Your Honor. You expect him to believe that without any kind of proof?
I could tell you what happened to the last pope when he got to the gate where St. Peter was. You wouldn't believe that either. So I won't. But the day that you finally figure out that there isn't a rapture, that you missed it or something happened, that's the day that we're waiting for. That's the day me and you gonna sit down and have a talk. And it's coming, old boy. It's coming. You ain't gonna get no rapture. That's just a theory. That's all that is.
Oh, it's coming. And Jesus mentioned it many times to the believers. There's a difference between the great white throne judgment that unbelievers will be judged by and the judgment seat of Christ. Two complete different events. So I guess you never heard of that. I mean, for God's sakes, but and lady's an expert in the Bible. She should have heard of it by now, right? But to the great MW that's been reincarnated 1,000 times, we are supposed to believe you and not the Bible. Listen, there's Terrell. Terrell coming here. This is a good thing. I'm so glad Terrell. Now, Terrell can tell you exactly where the Bible comes from. MW says it comes from the Catholic Church, Terrell. Are you going to get involved in this conversation? Terrell's an expert on the Bible. They think we're crazy, Terrell, because we believe the church is going to be caught up. The Bible is the Word of God.